Anybody else? Yes, sir.
44th.
44th.
Tom Tunney.
Yeah.
Tommy Tunney.
Yeah. Well, I just saw that Mark Thomas got a boost. What did he just get endorsed by? Yes. Mark Thomas was out basically. He said he was running a while ago. It was more than a year
Mark
ago.
Thomas?
Mark Thomas is the owner of the Alley, which is near the store that I bought that marijuana cleansing liquid from.
But it was not the Alley.
It was not the Alley.
Okay,
it was nearby. But he I used to love the Alley when I was in high school, and I would take the train up to the city. I would tell my mom I was going to the mall, and I'd be like, I'm going to the North Side, and I would go to the Alley, huh?
He sells dildos.
He does sell dildos, and I respect that. As a lesbian, dildos are needed. That is a.
You should run for office.
I think Mark Thomas has missed his campaign slogan.
Dildos are needed.
That's right.
We have a lot of them in the city council.
It's better than better than bold with dog shit. Yeah.
He was out there for a while, and he was actually gaining some traction, and then he kind of went off the grid, and he got sick, and he said he wasn't going to run, and then he kind of hopped back in. So I worry about that for him, because we were covering him like I said a while ago about him running, and he was really gaining steam. And I think when it comes to beating an incumbent, especially like Tom Tunney, who's so well known, it's you have to have your name out there, and you have to be hammering away and really getting your ground game going. And I think that lapse in time was probably bad for him, but people still know who he is, and he's a well-known, he's been in the neighborhood and has had business in the neighborhood forever. And with the crime, I know Lakeview is the most interesting neighborhood. I was an editor for we've had a kind of multiple Lakeview reporters, and we have a new one starting soon, but the meetings are crazy. They're really contentious. There's a lot of people who have a lot of strong feelings on either. You have the gay community, and then you have the people who are I don't want these crazy gay kids in my neighborhood, and they're making a mess, and they're loud, and it's just such. And then you have Wrigleyville. It's just such a diverse neighborhood with the types of people who come out to these meetings and who come out to vote. So I don't I don't think Tom Tunney is in too much trouble.
So? You don't think of runoff even?
And I am horrible, and I feel I've just been beaten down. I grew up in Chicago, and I just feel
it's all hopeless.
It's
you
all
can't
hopeless.
possibly
I really
do it.
do. I
Well,
feel
all right,
it's all
and there's one other candidate in the race,
Yeah,
right? There's the red light camera guy, right? Scott Davis, who's been railing against the red light camera system since long before the Tribune or anybody else got on the bandwagon. Now, I'm not sure that has translated to any kind of momentum for his campaign, but he's been out there. But meanwhile, Tom Tunney, not only is he an entrenched incumbent, has a lot of money to spend on his reelection effort, is a Rahm loyalist, of course.
Beyond.
But campaigning for
beyond
him.
that,
Yes,
right?
he was. He
What
was
do you mean by that?
soliciting. He was actually going around. He got my award for being the biggest apple polisher for Rahm. I mean, he wasn't just enough to support him. He circulated his petitions.
He personally went around getting signatures for the mayor.
That's embarrassing. So I don't know. I hope for a runoff in the 44th ward. I mean, come on. It used to be an independent ward way back, going back to the 70s, Dick Simpson's hometown, and now the fact that it's just been a loyal rubber stamp.
And the Crime in Wrigleyville blog, I think, has actually had a huge impact on Tunney's approval ratings in the ward.
Actually, Tunney deviated from the mayor. I got to say this. And this is beyond bizarre. Tom Tunney voted against the minimum wage, I believe, and so that's Rahm's proudest achievement. Yeah, it was a restaurant.
Yeah.
He had a principled opposition to it, but not to the parking meter deal. So he that's Rahm's greatest achievement. That's what I'm saying. Chicago politics is so bizarre. If you read his literature, that's Rahm's proudest achievement of his 4 years is that. He got the city council to increase the minimum wage. So it is, I guess I should not just call him a blanket rubber stamp alderman. He voted against the minimum wage.
There you go.